But in Finnish language, that Helsinki could change to many forms depending on what you're using it for. You could have Helsinki, Helsingin, Helsingissa, Helsingille, Helsingista. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Diaspora Mom Cheese channel. If this is the first time you're visiting my channel, a special welcome to you. And I do make videos about life in Finland, everything about Finland, moving to Finland, studying in Finland, and generally life in Finland. If you're interested in this kind of topics, so do well to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification button so that you will always get alert when I post new videos. And also don't forget to give me a thumbs up because it will help YouTube to show those videos to other people who might need it. Thank you, and let's go to the topic we have for today. So today we're going to talk about the Finnish language. So like you all know, if you are a foreigner in Finland, so one of the things you need to do is to learn the language so that you can blend into the society. So today I'm going to talk about some of the challenges you could face as a foreigner with the language and if the language is difficult or not. And just a disclaimer, everything I'm going to say here are mostly based on my own opinion and on my own experience as a foreigner as well. So, one of the challenges you would face with the language when you first move to Finland is, communication. For example, when I came to Finland, I came for studies and it was a degree program taught in English. So most of my friends speak English and they are from different countries. Even though we had a few Finnish people in our class, but they speak very good English and we basically communicate in English. So we don't necessarily communicate in Finnish at all. So you don't really have that urgent need to start learning the language. So you feel a little bit relaxed because on daily basis you can always you don't have difficulty with the language because people around you speak English, so you're a little bit relaxed. So even though the school tried their best to teach us Finnish, so in my first year we had a course in basic Finnish where you can learn, the basic verbs and those kind of things, the basic Finnish that you need for your everyday life. But even though we learn it, but there is no way where to practice it because all your friends speak English. So we just basically learn it and cram it, like put it in our head, and you know anytime there comes need, if you remember it, you use it. Sometimes you don't because you don't use it, and sometimes you don't learn new vocabularies because you don't use it, you don't hear it. So the next thing I'm going to point out as a challenge is if you speak good English. Like if you speak English, you're from the English speaking country, then it's going to be even much more longer for you to learn Finnish than for someone who doesn't speak English to learn Finnish. Ask me why. That is because you can always have your way. You have a second option. When you go to, for example, shop and you have a problem, even if you ask someone who doesn't understand English, the person will try to help you. The person will look for one of the staff who can understand English and speak English to come and help you. So most times you definitely find your way out if you speak English. So that means that you don't have that much of a pressure to learn the language. So if you're someone who is not really very keen to learn the language, you can just make do with your English and maybe you pick a few Finnish, you put in your pocket and you make do with it. But if you don't speak English at all, you really need to learn Finnish because there is no other way you can communicate except by sign language. So you really need to concentrate to learn the Finnish so that you can even, communicate in your daily life. So that is why those people, those foreigners who come from countries that are not English speaking and who themselves don't speak English learn this Finnish very faster than we do. So when I came to the internet to research how difficult it is to learn Finnish, I realized that there are five categories. Languages were grouped according to five categories. The beginning being the easiest languages to learn, which are for English speaking people, for people who speak English. So, which are languages like Dutch, Norwegian, Italian, Swedish, Spanish. Those languages are the easiest for people from the English speaking region to learn. And the one in the second category is German language. The third category is Indonesian, Malaysian, Swahili. And then Finnish belongs to the fourth category, which is the second to the last category. So that is to tell you that it's a bit difficult for someone from the English region to learn Finnish. It belongs to the fourth category, with the fifth category being languages like China, Japanese, and that is the last. So those are the most difficult languages for anybody from the English speaking to learn. So compared to those languages that are tongue twisters like Korean, Japanese, the Finnish is a lot easier, but it's not one of the easiest languages. It will take you about 44 weeks of learning Finnish to be able to, engage in a conversation. So now this is according to what I have read from the news. When I now bring it to real life situations. So when I came to Finland, when I enrolled in the nursing program, so after my first year in nursing, I did my practice. My tutor was English speaking, and it was like that so that I could understand what I'm being taught. So my tutor was English speaking, so I didn't really learn that much of Finnish during my practice. So after my practice, I entered second year, and after the second year, I started searching for summer job. So I applied for various places, and I couldn't speak Finnish. So by the time one of those places I applied, when the woman called me, I couldn't understand Finnish, but I had to put it on speaker. One of my friends were beside me who speaks good Finnish. So even when the woman told me like tervetuloa toihin, I was like, okay, okay. I didn't understand that she was telling me like welcome to work, like she already took me for the job. So it was after the conversation that my friend now told me what she was telling me and that I actually got the job. So that was how I got the job. So when I started working, I made friends with some people who can speak English, so I was comfortable. I communicate with them in English. But after a while, after the summer job, they were fellow nurses like me who were in school as well and doing summer job. So after the summer job, we all dispatched back to school, and I was still coming there during the weekends to do some extra jobs. So I wasn't meeting them anymore. I was now meeting those people who don't want to speak English. So they basically speak Finnish for me. And if I don't understand, they make a sign language to me. So that was how I started to learn Finnish gradually. I started to learn gradually. And that was around fourth year in Finland. I was still learning the language gradually. I never had the opportunity to go for language school because I came straight for studies, and after studies I got a job. So by the time I finished my studies, I couldn't still have a conversation in Finnish language. until I started my full-time work after studies. That was when I started learning the language. So some of the things that will make it difficult for someone from English speaking to learn the language is, how the prepositions, the verbs, how they change. For example, in English, I, anywhere I'm going to use I, it's I. There is nothing I'm going to attach to it. I have a car. I am going to shop. I live in Finland. I doesn't change. But when it now comes to Finnish, I have a car. I in Finnish is Mina. But when you now want to say I have a car, you now, that Mina changes to Minulla on auto. So with the verbs, the nouns, and the suffixes that are attached to them, it makes the language uh, a bit difficult, because, for example, Helsinki is the city in Finland. If it's in English, if you want to refer to Helsinki in any way, it remains Helsinki. It doesn't change. I am going to Helsinki. I live in Helsinki. I moved to Helsinki. The shop is in Helsinki. Helsinki doesn't change. So, but in Finnish language, that Helsinki could change to many forms depending on what you're using it for. You could have Helsinki, Helsingin, Helsingissa, Helsingille, Helsingista. And then you have another city like Kirkkonummi, where I live. Then, if you now want to use that same thing, assuming you learn it for Helsinki, and you now want to use it for Kirkkonummi, it doesn't work like that. For example, you could say, if you want to say, I live in Helsinki, you can say, Minä asun Helsingissa. But if you want to say, I live in Kirkkonummi, it changes to Minä asun Kirkkonummella. While in English language, you just comfortably say, I live in Helsinki, I live in Kirkkonummi. It doesn't change. In Finland, the pronouns, all the letters in a word are important. You don't silence any letter, just like in English. So if you are an English speaking person, you are comfortable with silencing letters. For example, if something comes with a double A, you don't need to stress the double A in order to pronounce that word. But in Finland, you need to stress it. For example, there is tuuli, there is tuli. They have two different meanings. So if you say like tuli is wind, and if you say tuli, it means came, like she came, is tuli. So you really need to, you really need to pronounce those languages, those words, the way they are written. It's very important in Finnish language. So, from what I have been describing so far, I would tell you that Finnish language is not easy to learn, and it's not rather the most difficult language to learn. So, how fast you learn it depends on your person and on your interests. But generally, it's very important. You fit in more into the society when you are able to, make a conversation in Finnish. I don't want to make this video very long. This is the first part for this video, and we are going to continue the second part in my next video. So guys, I'm going to end this video for now. Thank you for joining me until this extent, and just watch out for the part 2 of this video. Let's get this sorted out. Thank you, and see you in my next video. Bye.